SM-33 is finally here, and this droid has more surprises than we ever expected. Today, we're unboxing, reviewing, posing, and rating the Black Series SM-33 from Skeleton Crew. Let's get into it.
Turn on the force.
Alright collectors, let's kick things off with a brief look at the packaging. Hasbro keeps rolling with that clean Black Series window look. You've got SM-33 displayed securely inside, surrounded by all his accessories. And on the side panel and back of the package, there's that gorgeous illustrated artwork. It captures the quirky, mechanical personality of SM-33 in a way that's got Skeleton Crew vibes all over it. The colors lean toward those bright yellow hues with a mix of grayscale toward the upper third of the side panel. Definitely shelf-ready packaging. And of course, the back gives us the standard character bio blurb. Short, sweet, but man, I wish Hasbro would give us just a little more lore sometimes. Maybe they're saving the good stuff for the show. Or maybe they're like, surprise! You gotta buy 3 more figures to find out. So, overall, SM-33's body comes in that metallic silver finish, but what makes it interesting are all the little nicks and scratches sculpted across the surface. And Hasbro added a rust-colored weathering effect that gives him an aged, well-traveled look. Personally, I wish they had gone heavier with the rust in a few spots. It feels like they played it a little too safe on the back. It's totally clean, like spotless. Seriously, it's as smooth and clean as a baby's bottom after bath time. Where they did add color though, it really helps break things up. You've got 2 bold yellow stripes on his shoulders, a bright red dot right in the middle of his chest, and when you extend his torso, boom, there's a bundle of painted wires in red, blue, black, and gray. It gives the figure some nice pops of contrast. But again, no painted wires on the back. His mechanical joints, at the shoulders, elbows, and knees, are done in a bronze tone, which adds a nice metallic variation. There's even a little bronze accent on the square plate over his right knee. And check this out. On his right forearm, 2 copper-colored bands really stand out. They're subtle, but man, they look sharp against the silver body. And then we've got the peg leg. The metal band wrapped around it has this greenish patina effect. Super subtle. It's one of those little Easter eggs you might miss at first glance, but once you spot it, you realize just how much care went into the detailing here. Now, his head sculpt is where things really get fun. You've got a metallic mouth plate, 1 solid white plastic eye on the right, and a missing left eye that gives him so much personality. Around the back, several black plastic wires are attached from his head to the top of his back. And then there is a cool looking black tubing that forms his neck, all of which scream authenticity. And yes, the top of the head actually pops off so you can insert his little mouse companion, Snowball. That feature alone makes him feel unique. Between the rust effects, the hidden patina, and all those tiny pops of color, SM-33's detail work is way better than I expected. He's not just a plain silver droid. There's personality packed into the paint. Totally agree. But great paint is just one part of the package. What really seals the deal for some collectors are the extras. Because let's be honest, we all love a good accessories drop. And SM-33's box delivers more than you might think. Inside the box, you're not just getting the figure. You're getting a whole miniature armory and a furry friend. You get 2 forearm armor pieces, 2 shields, a display stand, and of course, Snowball. The forearm armor pieces are great. They peg securely onto the outer forearms, But here's the cool part. You can pop those off and swap in the 2 included shields, which connect via the same peg system. The shields have the same copper paint apps on them as the bands on the right forearm. And these shields are fantastic. They are both battle distressed, but each one tells its own story. The left shield has 2 black battle marks, while the right shield has a single one. It's that kind of specific asymmetrical detail that makes this feel like a premium release. One thing to note, after testing the figure and removing the shields many times, the left shield is a little loose. It's not bad, but it does come off easy if bumped. You also get a display stand, which is a welcome addition for getting those more extreme, towering poses stable on the shelf. But I will say that most poses for this figure can stand alone without that display stand. And finally, Snowball, SM-33's furry friend, who lives in what we'd call jokingly his studio apartment in his left eye. Yep, he's just one of those accessories that is an extension of the character's personality and narrative. And speaking of extensions, literally and figuratively, those accessories aren't just for show. Once you start posing him, they transform from cool extras to essential storytelling tools. Alright, spoiler alert. SM-33 may not look like much at first, but when it comes to articulation, this droid's got a few tricks up its sleeve, or well, joints. Yep, let's break down every joint and see just how posable this little guy really is. Pun intended. Alright, this droid's got 23 points of articulation, which sounds great on paper. But as every collector knows, it's not just about the count. It's all about how it moves, and SM-33, he moves with purpose. Yeah, this isn't just a pretty shell of a droid. He's got character in those joints. So let's break it down piece by piece. Starting up top, the head doesn't have a ton of movement, but what's there works. You get some side-to-side tilt, perfect for that "I'm analyzing you, human" look. True, the up and down tilt is limited, but that's because the motion comes more from the neck joint. You can still get him in some expressive stances, from a hunched, sneaky posture to a straight-backed, confident droid, or even a confused puppy droid pose. Moving to the shoulders. Now we're talking. Yeah. These are on hinge joints with butterfly sliders, giving you that nice forward and backward sweep. And get this, his arms can actually reach behind his back. And those hinge joints allow you to get him into a full T pose. Plus, you've got a full 360-degree biceps swivel, so posing variety is top-notch. One of the coolest surprises? Those extendable biceps. They slide out smoothly to give SM-33 that extra lanky, intimidating silhouette. And it's not just the arms. His wrists, right ankle, and even the left peg connection all extend for added height and mechanical realism. They're a little tough to pull out, but just give it a good pull and they'll extend. The elbows and wrists feature hinge joints too, with an impressive range, kind of like what we saw with Professor Huang. Link to full review down in the description. You can get expressive gestures without feeling restricted. Now let's talk torso, because this is where Hasbro got creative. You've got a ball jointed waist, but it also houses the main torso extension feature, giving you a surprisingly big vertical stretch. And when you extend that torso, those painted inner wires, the reds, blues, and grays, suddenly pop out like hidden circuitry saying, "Surprise, I'm alive!" That's what I love. It's articulation that doubles as visual storytelling. It's not just movement for movement's sake. No, moving down to the hips. They're on a barbell joint. You won't get a full split out of him, but he's got enough range for natural walking or leaning stances. They are a bit stiff at first, so take your time working those joints loose. The legs kick forward and back generously, making it doable to get him into running or action-ready poses without issue. And he's got a thigh cut located above the knee, lower than the thigh cuts we see most often. The knees are hinge joints, offering great forward bend. Backward motion isn't stellar, but honestly, he doesn't need to look like he's doing yoga. And then we come to the right ankle, which is absolutely solid. Great forward and back motion. That's some real ankle pivot. Thank the force. Yeah, collectors know no pivot means no personality. With it, you can spread the stance wide, get that grounded combat ready look, and still keep both feet, or in this case, one foot planted. The peg leg doesn't pivot since it's a fixed piece, but since the foot is sculpted slightly forward in the design, it helps balance him out perfectly. Exactly. You can even balance him on one leg, arms up like he's cheering for the skeleton crew, and those joints will hold. So overall, articulation-wise, this isn't just a shelf display piece. Nope, this droid's got personality in every pose. Whether you're building a skeleton crew diorama or snapping action shots, SM-33 brings movement and life. He's dynamic, expressive, and sturdy enough to handle it. And that's the line between cool sculpt and must-have figure right there. Yep, but the real fun begins when you bring him to life on the shelf. Those shields, those limbs, they turn into personality in motion. So, let's put SM-33 through his paces. It's time for our favorite part, the posing showcase, with a little Jedi Twins comedy twist. Pose 1, scanning for threats. Head tilted slightly left, one arm extended forward like he's using sensors, the other bent at the elbow with shield angled inward. He's not just standing there, he's analyzing your every move. Don't blink. Pose 2, defensive protocols engaged. SM-33 stands wide, one leg slightly forward, both forearm shields raised in front of him like a riot-controlled stance. When you see those shields come up, you know someone just threw the first punch. Pose number 3, shield bash. Mid-action stance with the right arm raised, shield angled forward like he's striking. Forget blasters. When this guy swings a shield, you feel it. Pose 4, frisbee practice. Right shield held in his right hand like throwing a frisbee. Legs posed slightly apart, right leg slightly forward and bent back a little. Look out! I don't think he's just practicing. Jill, why does he look like he's guarding the table instead of being reviewed? Because he is. Look at that stance. Shields up, like he's ready to block a photon blast. He's in full security mode. Maybe he's protecting the collection from us. After all, we've twisted his joints, extended his limbs. He's had enough. Can't blame him. If I had 2 shields like that, I'd block every critique too. Yeah, but look closer. He's staring right at the camera. That's a I run this review now look if I ever seen one. Shield protocol active. Jedi commentary restricted. Oh no, he's not just posing, he's moderating. Great. The droids think they're in charge again.
Should we tell him who's really running the show?
Nah, let him have his moment. At least somebody around here looks professional.
Yep, definitely thinks he's the boss.
Until next week's review, then it's mutiny all over again.
Okay. Before these droids start filing for union rights, let's reel it back to something every collector cares about: scale.
Yeah, because it's not just how cool he looks, it's how he fits into your lineup. And with SM-33s, that's where the fun really starts.
Let's talk scale, because it matters especially in the Black Series. In his standard mode of 6 1/4 inches, line him up next to a Phase 2 clone trooper, and the top of the clone's helmet sits just below SM-33, and I mean just a hair below. That puts him 6-inch scale dead on. Here's a look at him with the taller dark trooper. Still 6-inch scale accurate.
But with the arms, legs, and torso fully extended, he absolutely looms over other figures, easily clearing the 7-inch mark. This is film accurate, as the droid is absolutely meant to loom over the kids and adults and skeleton crew. He's got that imposing, gangly presence that really sets him apart.
Place him alongside Jadna in the Woods and Captain Brutus's figures, if you've got them. And you immediately get that Captain Crew vibe, a real sense of their relationship. If you're collecting the Skeleton Crew figures, he'll tower over them yet still fit comfortably on a basic shelf. The full extension feature isn't just for posing. It also lets him loom over a scene, like he's on high alert, scanning for trouble. He's perfect for giving a sense of height and presence in any display.
Exactly. For diorama builders or collectors who love dynamic displays, his unique height adds vertical interest without ever filling out a scale. He fills a scene in a way most figures can't, giving your shelf that extra layer of storytelling and personality.
Alright, let's hit the tough questions. The things that keep collectors up at night. Will the torso and limb extensions get loose over time?
We've put ours through several cycles, extending and retracting them, and the torso and limb extensions haven't gotten any looser. However, the actual joints, especially the ankle joint, loosened up a wee bit, but they still hold a pose pretty well despite the looser feel.
What about that peg leg? Can it pop off? Nope. It's one solid molded piece with a robust pin, so it won't snap under normal handling or even during enthusiastic posing. This isn't a delicate limb, it's part of his rugged charm.
And will the rat stay put in its eye socket? Yes. We shook it really hard, and Snowball will stay right where he belongs, nestled safely in his grotto.
Yes, SM-33 comes in at a deluxe price point at most retailers. But let's break down what you're actually getting for your hard-earned credits. You're not just getting new tooling, you're getting extensive new tooling that captures every eccentric detail of this unique droid.
You get an impressive loadout, 2 forearm armor pieces, 2 swappable battle-damaged shields, a display stand, and a hidden rodent. Plus, this is a brand new system for the Black Series line. Compared to a standard release, this figure comfortably sits somewhere between a mainline and a true deluxe. But in our opinion, his size alone is worth the deluxe price. Alright, before SM-33 actually does lock us out of our own review, let's power down the shields and get real for a minute.
Yeah, it's time to give this icy enforcer his final evaluation, because even though he's acting like he runs the show, we know who really does.
Us. And maybe Snowball, quietly judging from the left eye.
Always watching. So let's break it down. What worked? What froze us in our tracks? And where SM-33 could have packed a little more punch?
After spending a lot of time with this guy, we're giving SM-33 a very strong 9 out of 10.
He is so close to perfect. The engineering and playability are off the charts. What holds him back is the paint. There's just not enough rust effect on the entire figure. The beautiful work on the front is fantastic, but there is none at all on the back.
And the sculpted wires on the back are completely unpainted. It's a classic Hasbro move that keeps this figure from being a flawless 10. But a 9 is still an incredible score, and the shelf presence is undeniable. It's stronger, more captivating than half the bounty hunters in your collection.
If you're a Droid-only collector, this is still a unique edition. No other protocol-sized figure boasts the same peg leg swagger or charmingly decrepit aesthetic.
SM-33 isn't just another background protocol repaint. It's a pirate ship's scrap heap miraculously brought to life and turned into posable plastic.
The engineers didn't just meet expectations, they went above and beyond, hiding a full-body extension system, a removable eye studio that doubles as a rat's nest, and a clever system of swappable forearm armor and battle-damaged shields, then wrapped it all in some of the best, most character-accurate paint apps Hasbro has delivered this year.
Yes, the back is missing its rust and wire paint apps, but honestly, those are minor fixes for a customizer and small complaints in the grand scheme of things.
In hand, he feels less like a toy and more like a prop pulled straight off the Onyx Cinder's bridge, peg leg and all. For our shelf, he immediately stole the droid corner with a presence that rivals even Boba's throne.
If you want a Star Wars figure that reminds you the galaxy's still wonderfully weird, gloriously fun, and full of unexpected charm, SM-33 absolutely belongs in your collection. No parley required.
So what do you think of SM-33? Is this a must-have droid for your shelf, or are you waiting on another figure to drop before you decide?
Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed the review, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next Black Series Deep Dive.
Until next time, may the Force be with you!
Wait, what's he doing here? He's hijacking the outro. Subscribe or face deletion.
He's bossy, but he's right. Don't forget to subscribe.